Passport bros. I've heard that term more and more often. And how do Western women rate Western men? And why are men moving overseas, especially to Southeast Asia, to find girlfriends and wives? I've done a little research. I've found a couple of graphs we will get into in a little bit, and really looking forward to your experiences back in the U.S. Many of us have had one or more relationships back in our home country, our Western country. And something I hear often is that, yeah, the women back there, we just can't live up to their expectations. They've had bad relationships, bad experiences, and they really are looking for something that possibly is very unlikely to be attainable. They're looking for the white and shining armor. And most of us, I must admit, my armor is a little tarnished right now. And anyway, what do you think about that? Are you moving overseas because you just can't find it in the USA or Western Europe, Australia, New Zealand? I know my experience. I spent quite a bit of time over the years, not constantly, but quite a bit of time over the years on dating sites trying to find somebody compatible after being married 11 years, and spent a lot of time, a lot of money taking girls out, meeting them, buying dinners, and never did find any compatible. I dated a few for a number of months anyway, and it just wasn't going to happen. And I know one girl even told me, "There's a reason why we're divorced," basically meaning, we just have a problem with long-term relationships. So that could be one reason. So tens of thousands of single males are planning to move forward. They pack their bags and search out another destination to live your dream, and that is possible to go forward. Searching online, I found a lot of information, some of it dated, but anyway, this was a survey on OkCupid.com. Not familiar with the site myself, but fairly popular site, I guess. And somebody's made a graph of the responses. This is how men rate women, primarily Western, primarily USA perhaps, or other Western countries, not absolutely positive. But you can see it's pretty much a pretty much an even distribution across the various girls on the dating site, how they rate them. And so there's a pretty good chance that I guess the swipe right, swipe left, swipe right if you like somebody, swipe left if you don't like them. Um, that is one way of saying, yeah, I like, I don't like, I like, I don't like. And so let's look at how do women rate the men. Whoa! How do women rate men? Again on OkCupid.com. Least attractive on the left there, and boy, only 2% have much of a chance at all, it seems. Move up a little bit, 5%, but gosh, most of us don't have a chance on these dating sites. Why is that? Why is that? What do they look for in a man? Good looks, money, stability, good job, location. What are some of the other things they're looking for? And why are so many Western men so very unattractive to these Western women? Looking for your comments. Here I am. Wait a minute, that's not me. Anyway, take you on a little ride. This was on Malapascua Island on the north end of Cebu Island. So take you on a little ride here. It's been in a couple of my other videos. I've got over 1,300 videos up in 8 years, dealing with cost of living, travel, condominiums, what do they rent for, what do they look like inside, what do they sell for. Subscribe if you find this content interesting, and thumbs up, thumbs down, comments always help with the algorithms as well. Anyway, as I was saying, I've been seeing that word, passport bros, among Western women. I don't know how I've come across it, but in articles and social media around. Anyway, be careful what you wish for. You might get it, and if the expectations are just too high, you just might end up with nothing in the end. If your dreams are too high, I've always been taught, dream high. You can do whatever you want. You can achieve your goals. Just keep dreaming. Keep working towards your goals. That is true up to a point. Up to a point. There's a little bit of realism you have to bring into the equation as well. Looking for your comments. I've always been attracted to the possibility of having the perfect relationship, and in fact, I grew up watching different types of shows where the marriages were solid and very good, and the few arguments were worked through, and I had very high expectations, which might be maybe too high of expectations for the perfect relationship, perfect marriage. And although we developed a decent relationship, I was married 11 years. There were issues, and when we got divorced, I thought, well, it's going to be easy to find somebody. I'm relatively young yet. I've got a pretty good job, and went out and on some of the dating sites, and met lots of girls who just obviously, absolutely did not fit anywhere close to being compatible with me. Now, personally, from a very young age, I was always intrigued. Actress lives up there, very famous Philippine actress. I knew from a very young age I was intrigued by Asian cultures, and I knew that sooner or later, wish I would have done it a lot sooner, I was going to go visit Asian countries. And I finally did. I did not get on the dating sites when I planned on coming over here. I did not want meeting a girl in a certain place to be the determining factor of where I was going to go and where I was going to travel to. Unlike the USA, and here I did get on dating sites after a while here, I found myself in demand, something that I absolutely did not find in the USA. I adapted quite well in the Philippines, and my attitude was, if the Philippines didn't work out for me, I would move over to Thailand, or I would move to Vietnam. I visited Vietnam, a very interesting city. I could move to Cambodia. I would adapt well in any of those places, I think. The English language communication is pretty important. I've got a friend who originally spent quite a bit of time in Thailand, and he'd go back to the U.S., and then somebody mentioned Philippines to him. He'd come here for a while, had a relationship here, and now he's decided to spend most of his time in Thailand. But here's the key thing. When I talked to him about relationships there, he said, no, it's very difficult to have any kind of in-depth conversation in Thailand. Most don't know a lot of English. They know enough, what's your name, where are you from, a couple other little things, but not much beyond that, most of them. And somebody's going to disagree and say that wasn't their experience, which is fine. When I was in Vietnam, also, I was approached by a couple of girls. I was buying coffee with a Filipina friend that I went to visit there, and one of the Vietnamese ladies asked me, "Is that your lady? Is that your lady?" I said, "No, that's not. That's just a friend." and she was looking to hook up on a relationship type basis. She gave me her email address, but I'm living in the Philippines. She spoke pretty good English. Do I want a long distance relationship with somebody in Vietnam when I'm living in the Philippines and loving it here? And I just never pursued that. Glad I didn't. You can live your dream. You can live your dream here in Southeast Asia, other parts of the world. You can get a fresh start. Don't bring your baggage with you. I mean, you bring your luggage with you, but don't take your personal mental baggage and let it drag you down. If you made a lot of mistakes in the USA or whatever country you're from, learn from those mistakes. Learn from others' mistakes. Don't do the same mistakes when you're here. You can live relatively inexpensively here, but you can also blow your money very quickly and be broke and in pretty dire straits. Your dream can turn into a nightmare. That can happen any place in the world, back in your own country. Your own country may have some type of safety net if you really screw up badly. Um, One of the issues, you should have a plan B and C in case things don't go well. You should have some cash in the bank so that you have the ability financially to make changes if things go south for you. Looking forward to the discussion, looking forward to the comments. And I've had these kind of discussions with quite a number of expats, foreigners here in the Philippines, who have stated the issues with the Western mindset of so many women. Not all of them. There's a lot of good ones with a lot of potential, no doubt. But it's more difficult to find. More difficult to find uh, than it is here in Southeast Asia, probably. Anyway, just a note on Malapaskwa. There was a bunch of us up here staying at a resort, and we rented 3 motorbikes, 3 different drivers, and I think two of us, so there was 3 of us on each motorbike, going around a tour of the island. And with the driver, I think cost us each 450 pesos, $9 a piece for pretty much the whole day of touring Malapaskwa Island. The girl behind me was one of our tour guides, as a matter of fact. Wasn't a girlfriend, was a tour guide. I think she was married to a dive instructor from Australia, as a matter of fact. And anyway, Malapaskwa it is on a smaller island on the north end. You have to take a ferry to get over to it, north end of Cebu Island. Very popular with scuba divers because you can go out, you can see thresher sharks, which I did after I learned to did several dives. Went out early in the morning down to see thresher sharks. About, gosh, what was it? 25 meters, I think, about 90 feet. And I think occasionally hammerhead sharks you can see. And then there's Boracay Island, a larger island off to the west that has some white sand beaches here as well. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Stay safe, safe travels, and I'll see you next time.